Welcome to all my travelers out there. I am your host, Darren Beckett, and this is the Global Travel Podcast. For those who do not know my travel resume, I've been to 13 states, 15 countries on 5 different continents, but it is not about me. Here, we are giving you quality travel tips, insights, and recommendations on all the best destinations for ideas to enjoy your vacations. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We are all clear for takeoff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we reach our destination, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and if you could do me a favor, in the comment section below, type in the words, "I got my ticket." And at the end of the show, I'm going to respond and see how your experience went with us, all right? So with that being said, on today's episode, we are taking a trip to Switzerland. So make sure you got your passports, your earphones, and something to snack on. We have a very special guest here with us today. But before I introduce them, let me just say this. Now, this gentleman right here has been across the world, been stationed in England. It's been to what I believe, I'm sorry, how many states again?
States 15, 19. I think 19.
19 different states. He's been to 23 different countries, Jordan. So Switzerland is the topic of today. So if Switzerland's on your list of places to go, you want to pay attention, you want to listen up. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Ryan Morbley.
What's going on, everybody?
What's happening with you, brother? How you doing today?
Man, I am good. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you once again, brother, for showing us some love, man. Much appreciated stopping by and sharing with your travel stories and all the insights that you have. You've been around the world, like I said, 19 states, 23 different countries. So you have a wealth of travel knowledge. So much appreciated. And then just to dive straight into it, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you from? Where you live? Your hobbies? X, Y, and Z.
All right. So my name is Ryan Morbley, former Air Force guy. Did that for 6 years. I was fortunate enough. First duty station was in England. Um, and from there, man, I just kind of ventured out all over the world. So did that for 4 years, spread out all through England, all through Europe. Um, a deployment in there, so out to the Middle East from England, and then got out the military. Worked IT for a little bit. Worked for the Department of Defense for a little bit. Worked for the VA for a little bit. So now I just kind of parlayed that into traveling full time. I'm fortunate enough to retire at the age of 34. So
Nice.
it's out there getting it.
Yeah, I like that. Like retiring at 34, man. That sounds good to me. So speaking of traveling, I mean, other than travel, before we get to the travels, what other hobbies do you like to do other than travel?
Man, I was a big snowboarder up until this year, man. I actually had to sell my board. So just trying to figure it out, man. Trying to figure out what motivates me besides getting out there and traveling, man.
I hear
But
you.
right now, that's it.
I ain't nothing wrong with, man. Traveling is, that's all you need. You learn, you get good food, and you get your history lessons and all that good stuff.
Yep.
So you learn a lot. You learn about yourself, about other people, and it's pretty cool. So speaking of travel, man, let's I know we're gonna start in the United States. So what places do you want to take us in the United States? Where we going first?
Let's start off where I'm from, man. So like I'm from Texas, but like I'm from a small town in Texas that sits on the Arkansas border, man. So
Mm,
it's like I have that Texas culture, but then there's a little bit of Arkansas stuff that's in there as well. I don't really claim the Arkansas side of it, but it's part of my hometown. So
right.
small town. Let's see, Arkansas, another place. I mean, like I said, I don't really claim it, but that's my second home as well, man.
Hmm.
Um, where else? Tennessee is a big hangout spot for me. Going down to Memphis, partying on Bill Street.
Yeah, I
Um,
hear Memphis got good. Let's stay in Memphis for a hot second. I hear they got good
okay.
barbecue. Did you try their barbecue by chance?
It's good, man. I mean, it ain't as good as the Texas barbecue, but I mean, it ain't bad, man. It definitely ain't bad. So you see those long lines outside of like the barbecue shacks in Memphis, man. Definitely worth the wait.
So you telling me Texas? This is probably a biased answer, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it because I think I have my biases as well. So you saying Texas has the best barbecue?
Can't beat it, man.
Can't
Can't
beat
beat
it.
it. Can't beat a good piece
Ah,
of brisket, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
brisket is like the national meat of Texas.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Well, and then far as Memphis, you said Bill Street. What is Bill Street for the folks who don't know what Bill Street is? Tell us a little bit about that.
So Bill Street is this big strip of bars, restaurants, live music all over the place, man. It's really just a place to cut loose, have a good time, get a bunch of drinks, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely known for the drinks. It's
Yes.
like, what is it? It's like Bourbon Street, but on a smaller scale.
So far as what type of music would you hear in Memphis? What type of music do you?
Blues, man. It's the blues capital of the world.
So would you say I mean I guess it's the same as New Orleans. They got good jazz and blues and whatnot too. So
Mhm.
there's some relation there. So far as things to do, so we know Memphis is good for barbecue. They got some good drinks and blues and good music. So far as things to do in Memphis, I mean other than Bill Street, where else would you recommend folks to go or do?
For me, the big one is the Civil Rights Museum. It's
Mm,
like, and like what's crazy is I'm from 4 hours from Memphis, and I didn't know it was there. So I mean, I can only imagine people outside of this area like knowing that it's there. So the Civil Rights Museum, it's actually an old hotel. It's where Martin Luther King was shot.
mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like they preserved his room and all of that stuff, man. It's like it's crazy to walk back in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like our generation, like we know of the stories, but like man, I can only imagine like those guys like living through it.
Right, right. And yeah, for those folks who do not know, you can actually you said in Memphis, there's like a hotel in Memphis where Martin Luther King was shot, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
was
the Lorraine Hotel.
Yeah, thank you for. I was gonna ask you what was the name of the. Okay, so Lorraine Hotel. That's where MLK was shot or assassinated or whatever the case may be. But that is what's so important about it is the history. Like you said, they preserved the room. The room still looks like it was back in 19. What was it, 60s or 50s or what have you?
Six back in the 60s.
60s, yeah, 1960s. So yeah, it's a museum. They take you, they give you some details on the story. They even tell you the possibilities of where the shooter was. It was across the
Mhm.
street in another, I believe, another hotel or apartment or something to that nature,
Mhm.
on a balcony. So yeah, they'll give you the whole rundown. If that's something you're interested in, definitely go visit Lorraine Hotel or Motel or whichever.
Motel, I think
In
it's a motel.
Motel, right? Yeah, I thought it was, yeah, a Lorraine Motel in Memphis. If you want to get the story on MLK and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. Memphis was cool. Got good barbecue. Go see MLK. Museum, what have you, and good drinks, of course. And then let's
Very
take
much
it to
so.
another state. What other states you taking us to? Where we going?
Let's go Utah, man. This one's kind of out there, man. I know a lot of people are afraid of Utah because you get the Mormon backside of it. But man, let me
Hmm.
tell you, like if you've never been to Salt Lake City, man, it's the Mormon community, like the nicest people like I've ever met, like hands down. But I know they get a bad rap.
Yeah.
They get a bad rap. But man, it's Utah's dope. Especially going around Christmas time. They light up. I think it's Temple Square
Hmm.
is the big area that's in Salt Lake.
Hmm.
So that's all lit up. There's like winter wonderland walkthroughs to go through there. When I was there, I went hunting. So first time hunting,
Hmm.
went pheasant hunting,
Hmm.
delicious food.
Yeah.
So
So
man,
hunting is on my list. It's wabbit season. So I want to go what did you said you was hunting? What did you catch or
pheasant.
Pheasant. See,
Yeah,
what kind of gun? Or I see, I don't know nothing about hunting and then what kind of gun did you have?
just
Shotgun.
shotgun with some bird shot in it.
Yeah, yeah. See, and how does hunting work? How do you have like your hunting dogs that go, stir up some stuff? I only see this stuff on TV, so I don't know. I'm just asking the
Yeah,
question.
and
Yeah.
that's what it was. It was my first time going too. So they had the guy we were with had dogs with him. Brought the dogs out. Dogs would go out and scare up the pheasant. They'd fly out and you pick them off.
Wow, that's something you could do up in Utah. What's the weather like in Utah? Well, how's that climate?
Cold, cold.
Yeah.
They started getting cold about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So their winter starts a little earlier than most. Um, Definitely, like, because I'm in Texas right now. I'm supposed to be in Panama, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely short weather here in Texas. So
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, like I said, Utah is actually on my list of places to go. I hear it's more of like the hiking, outdoorsy type of state to
very much
do,
so.
camping and whatnot. So, is there any particular food that you can remember that Utah's famous for, or at least good at making?
They had really good beer. There's a lot of like local craft brewery places, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as food, I really don't remember what I ate there, but I
So
remember
they
the beer was outstanding though.
Well, that's what see they must not be known for the food, but beer, yeah, you can go get you some good beer. So definitely hit that up. Like I said, Utah is a good place to go. Some off the beaten path, some not. Like everyone know California and New York's and Florida's and stuff like that. So if you want
Mhm.
to do something different, you're an outdoor nature type of person, like some good beer. I think Utah may be a place for you. And if you like that colder weather, some folks like that colder climate, and then those folks who are hunters and like that and go have you some fun in Utah. So Utah was pretty cool. It was kind of chilly in Utah. So let's hit another state.
Oh
Where we
man,
going now?
let's take it out to Alaska.
Oh, we getting even colder. Go
Yep,
ahead. So yeah, tell
very
us
much
about
so.
Alaska. Yeah, what's up with that?
So Alaska is like the great white wilderness, man. It's
Yeah.
like even in so hung out in Anchorage, which is the largest city in Alaska, and it was so quiet. Like
Mhm,
I've never experienced like a quote unquote big city
mhm.
being as quiet as Anchorage was. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
people are friendly, people speak and wave,
Right.
but it's like getting out in nature, man.
Mhm,
That the nature side of it is like anything unlike anything else, man.
Yeah, so one of my bucket lists is Alaska as well. Did you go when it was freezing cold, or did you go when it was like in the summertime where it's a little nicer weather-wise?
It was a little nicer, but it was starting to get cold. And this was like 2 months ago. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's starting to get cold outside. And then the week that I left, they actually got dumped on with, I think they got hit with like 4 inches. So
Oh, yeah, you got
barely
there right in
missed it.
time.
Barely missed
uh,
it because at the time I didn't have a jacket. So I
r-
just picked up
uh,
a jacket on my travels.
sometimes so it's like that. Sometimes you gotta just go a little shopping a little bit to prepare for the weather or what have you. And as far as the food, what is I'm assuming seafood. I don't know, but how's the food out there?
Yeah,
What do they mainly eat? What's out there?
heavy on seafood because you got like they're surrounded by water, so
Hmm.
super heavy on seafood. I had a couple steaks while I was out there, pretty good. um in Anchorage itself, pizza's a big thing. There's a place called, I'll give them a shout out, Moose Knuckle. Man, I know that probably ain't the name of it. It's Moose Tooth, Moose's Tooth,
Okay,
not Moose
okay,
Knuckle.
okay.
Moose's Tooth. I was like, wait, not right.
So okay, so steaks, they good at steaks and pizza. I didn't know that. That was way beyond my
Yeah, that was
thoughts.
a,
So
that was a
if you like
surprise for me
pizza,
too.
yeah, yeah. So what is there to do or to see? I mean, I know it's full of nature. What exactly is there to do? What do you recommend folks when they get to Alaska?
If you want super simple, there's a train yard that runs right there. It's like the Great Alaskan like Railroad. So that's right in the
Mm-hmm.
heart of Anchorage. But going out from there, oh man, now I can't think of names. Um, hiking's really big. Hiking's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting's really big in Alaska. Because it's like literally you can go out in the middle of the city and see moose,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? Just going out and getting out in nature, man. That's what most people there kind of live for.
Right, right, right. So yeah, if y'all liking nature, get you some pizza, some steaks, hiking. If hiking is something that you're interested in, if that's your thing, definitely hit Alaska up. And if you like the chilly weather, the snow, definitely go when it's snowing and all that. There is a nice time or a warmer weather is in the summer, of course. So I hear it's pretty nice during that time as well. Anything else for in Alaska before we head on out to a different state?
If you go around this time of year in the wintertime, prepare for darkness. It's gonna get dark
Uh,
because they are one of those states that have like 3 hours of daylight, if that long.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah,
Out of 24 hours, you telling
uh,
me we only get 3 hours of sunlight and then 21 hours of darkness
that's on a good day.
on, on a good day.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's because like
wow.
I've heard the stories of like 30 minutes of sunlight. Like you
Thir-
get 30 minutes like at noonish, and then that's it.
Man, how you know when to sleep? I'm like, man, I don't even know. It's time to go to sleep. When it's dark, it's time to go to sleep for me. Man, it's dark.
Man, take
it's
all
dark.
kinds of naps.
Right, right. I'm gonna need my naps. I'm like, man, it's dark out. I need to go to sleep. Something telling me go to sleep. But that's what I think I sleep a lot in Alaska. Dang, that's crazy. 3 hours, 30 minutes of that is real crazy. So folks are staying in a house all day, or is there parties? They must be turning up. Do they turn up? Well, it's quiet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so another big thing about Alaska is like alcohol and drug use is really bad
Ooh.
because it plays a part of like the whole darkness thing. So
Mm-hmm.
people fall into depression and it's hard for them to come out. So alcohol and drugs are really bad out there,
Mm.
man.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's true. That weather affects the attitude, your mood. So if you just got all that darkness, I mean, it's hard to overcome that, man. That's tough. But if we're visiting, we can stay for a hot second, so and come on back. So that's cool about that. So Alaska, cool. What about what other states we going to take us somewhere else? You got a warmer state. It's been kind of cold. We ain't got. I don't know if all of our folks got their jackets.
warmer state. Let's go
No, it don't have to be warm.
to
I'll just play just anywhere.
No, I'm trying to think of somewhere outside of like the bigger places I've been.
Yes,
It's because I
yes.
mean, like Oklahoma, a lot of flat land and nothing in
Oh,
Oklahoma. It's
damn.
warm though.
It's warm though, huh? We don't need our jackets. We good. So Oklahoma, I don't know too much about Oklahoma. I don't know if our listeners do neither. What I mean, is what is it? Is it drinks, alcohol, turn up parties, or what's there to do in Oklahoma? Cow tipping.
Oklahoma City, yeah, cow tipping. I'm about to say it's super agricultural.
uh,
Lots of cow tipping, but yeah, like Oklahoma City, because like you got the universities and stuff like right around there, and then there's a big Air Force base in Oklahoma City as well. So yeah, that's definitely going to be your party spot in Oklahoma.
yeah, I
Um,
figured.
for the
uh,
good barbecue as well. I can't
oh,
knock the
okay.
barbecue. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
and this is coming
Oklahoma
from
has.
a barbecue guru. So when you're in Texas, boy, you got to be a barbecue guru. So I'll take your word for it. And then now I think we explored enough places in the United States. Let's go ahead and go international. So before we hit Switzerland, that's later on. We still got a little flight to go. So what other countries or what countries do you want to start off with? Where we going first?
Man, let's take it to where I started. Now let's take it back to England.
Let's do it.
Man, so where I was about an hour and a half south of London. Place called Lakenheath Village. Uh, small town. And it's like if England has rednecks, this is where the rednecks are. And it's dead serious, man. Like you'll hear the accent change, like you'll hear Like London, you have the super proper Queen's English. But out in the sticks, man, it's like,
Mhm.
oh,
Oh.
y'all hillbilly. Like we in the
uh,
backwoods.
I never I didn't know. Like you see that this is good information. Good info. I mean, where's I know you're stationed out there for 4 years in England. So tell us your experience about that.
Um, Man, as far as being black in England, places you want to hit:
Mm-hmm.
Nottingham, Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a couple spots out in the Midlands, but Birmingham is going to be your big black people capital. It's, you know, you
Okay.
go out there if you want a weekend away, weekend to party, man. Like that's your spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Nottingham was closer to the base for us. It was only like 45 minutes out, but another little dope spot, man. Just because they have a couple clubs there, a couple little places where you can just go out and just hang out, man. And it's like, for the
Mm-hmm.
most
Right.
part, you don't have to worry about going out. Oh, I'm American, like I stand out. It's
Right.
not like that in England, man. It's not like that at all. It's like, for the most part, people gravitate to you.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, England has a is it like America far? Well, I've been to London. I saw all kind of culture. So is England, where you was at? Is it pretty much diverse or
Nope,
what
nope.
did you see? Nope. Yeah, and it be like that sometimes. America's not always diverse neither, though. So you have your little
Yep.
clusters of folks in different places. So, but for the black folks out there, for sisters, we can go to Birmingham. That's a little spot for us to go to. And then, far as the beers or drink, low national beers, national alcohol, what they got out there?
Their big one you'll see on tap everywhere is it's called Old Speckle Hen. Not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite by any means. Man, as far as stuff on tap, man, definitely stick to. I know it's not British, but definitely stick to like Guinness. I'm a dark beer drinker.
Okay.
IPAs are
Okay.
prevalent over there as well. So like if you're looking for a good IPA, you'll never run afoul looking for one of those. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
As far as food,
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. Nando's, and there's a place called, it was like Farmers Market or something. Like legit the only two food spots I found that had like flavor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Americans, we tend to, we season our foods. In some
Yep.
countries may think that it's a little too much. We don't get that natural flavor of the vegetables and the meats and whatnot. But I mean, I think pretty good amount. I think we do. We don't go for health, of course. We go for taste. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a little different in other countries. And then what about before we head out from England? Any other things you want to talk about? Places, destinations, or anything else?
Man, it's another cool little spot, man. If you go, it's about 45 minutes from London, a place called Milton Keynes. It's this
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
hidden gem of England, man. It's small city, small town,
Mm-hmm.
but they have this mall there. It's, again, like I'm a big, or it was a big snowboarder. The
Mm-hmm.
mall there
Mm-hmm.
has an indoor snowboard and ski slope in it.
What and what is this mall called? Do you remember?
Uh, I don't know what the name of the mall is, but it's in Milton Keynes. It's, if you Google
What's up?
Milton
And
Keynes,
if you just say the mall with the what do you call that? The mountain and hill and go snowboarding and skiing inside the mall, just they'll probably know what you're talking about. Not unless they got like
it'll if you search for Milton Keynes, it'll pop up.
it'll pop up. Okay, okay.
Yep,
Must go. Must go. Must go. Must
must
go.
go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So all right. England was cool. Some places you can go to, Birmingham, you go skiing and snowboarding and whatnot in the mall, inside the building, which is pretty dope. What other countries where else we going before we hit Switzerland? Where else we going?
Um, let's see. One of my favorites was Malta. Uh, Tiny country
Ooh.
sits off the southern coast of Italy.
Hmm.
It's small place. It's like three islands that make it up. Malta, Gozo, and Camino. Um, Man, it's Malta if you're looking for stuff to do at night.
Hmm.
Gozo if you're best if you go with like on a couples trip.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then Camino Island is this like little 1 mile wide island that you go to hang out there for the day. It's pretty dope.
Right, right. So, what type of traveler are you? Are you a solo traveler? You go with friends and groups, and what type of traveler are you?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely both. So it's like most of my trips I've gone with people,
Hmm.
but since I started traveling full time, it's just been me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So, for those folks out there who want to travel full time, I know I got some folks out there who may be like, well, how do you? Wait a minute, Ryan. How do you travel full time? What do you? What's the secret? What's the travel hacks? What can you tell us? Let us in.
so for me, my travel hacks are save up money any way possible. And for me, that was I got a roommate, man. Wasn't the ideal situation, but I was putting away money. So
Hmm.
definitely putting away money because like I knew I wanted to do this.
Right, right,
So
right,
and
right.
for me again, like I'm fortunate, man. It's being in the military. Like I got hurt while I was in, so they pay me a nice chunk of change every month. So
Nah, there you go. You put in your time, you put in your work, man. It's time to get that ROI. So that's
yes,
what's
sir.
up. Yeah, that's what's up. Now, far as Malta, any type of foods that they are known for, or do you think we should try?
Big on seafood because they are a couple of islands. Super big on seafood. I would say try the paella,
Mm,
but that paella is not gonna be. It's not gonna be Spain's paella,
yeah, yeah.
but the paella is good.
Okay, 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 cool. So let's hit one more. Let's hit one more country. What other country? We almost head to Switzerland and almost there. So what country do you want to take us to before we hit Switzerland?
Since I brought it up, let's go Spain.
Yep, that part.
It's um, Barcelona. I
Mhm.
can't say enough good things about Barcelona. Barcelona is another one of those places that has a bad reputation that goes along with it because of they do have crime.
Mhm.
There is crime there, but if you like stick to the P's and Q's, man, like if you don't just announce yourself as, hey, I'm a big American guy. It's if you stick to the P's and Q's, man, and like try your best not to stand out. Barcelona was hands down one of my favorite trips.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of because I was in Barcelona, a lot of nice architecture. So the buildings are
The
old,
the
beautiful. The architecture is a
Familia
lot different.
Sagrada,
La
see that?
Familia Sagrada. See, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it's an unfinished church for you guys who are unaware. It's an unfinished church. They've been building it for who knows how many centuries now. I think they started in the 1800s. I don't know. Do you know any backstories
Man,
on that or any history on that?
not I don't remember it, not at all, man. I
Yeah,
just know it's legit one of the wow things that you have to see if you go, man. It's like,
yeah,
all right, that's a must.
yeah. It's called La. What is it again?
La Familia Sagrada.
Sagrada. La Familia Sagrada. So that is the church. It is intricate. I even read upon that I forgot to do the name of the person who was building it, but he used real humans' faces from the people that he knew. So there, if you're up close, you'll be able to see all the details and the facial features, and it is really, really, really amazing. Something that you guys have to stop by when you're in Barcelona. And then they got paella. Tell us about the paella. What is paella about?
That so paella is it's a seafood stir fry rice dish. It's hard to explain it because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what it was either. I was like, what is paella? But I don't know. Like if you're into seafood and like shellfish, absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's and because they catch everything right there, it's so fresh. I know the first
Yes.
restaurant we went was like, yeah, like the chef, he's out back,
Mm-hmm.
like trying to catch some stuff. So I ain't never had that fresh before.
Yeah, that's fresh. That is the definition of fresh. I like from the sea to the table. That is real
Yep.
cool. And then far as we got La Familia Sagrada. What about any other places or any other iconic locations that you can think of that we should visit?
Um, let's see, downtown and the main square. And I know that sounds broad,
Hmm.
but there's really only like one big main area.
Hmm.
Um, Man, we did a bike rental. This was one of those big group trips. Did a huge ride around just the downtown area. Got out, saw a couple beaches, found a boardwalk area that they had, which was pretty dope. But yeah, it was just cool to just get out, hop on a bike, and just ride around.
Yeah. And what was the weather like when you was out there? What was that about?
It was a little chilly, but I think we went in March. Yeah, this is like right when I first got back from Iraq. So we went in March or April, and little chilly out still. Because like looking back at my pictures, I got on a hoodie and like a beanie.
Hmm.
But again, we were outside riding bikes, so it wasn't like terrible.
Right, right. And far as yours, do you speak Spanish at all, or
Uh, Poquito.
okay?
I'm learning, and I am terrible at it.
It's cool. It's cool. It's our most Americans, we don't speak a second language. So if you go to when you're in Europe, man, the average language they can speak is four languages. So we're a little behind, but
Yep.
the okay thing about it, I guess, is that when you go to different countries, is more oftentimes than not they speak English. So do they speak English, or how did you get around?
They spoke English.
Mm,
I mean, like we'd find people who did speak English, and
mhm,
then luckily for us, we had a guy from Mexico that was
mm,
with us on the trip. So he was like, I mean, still a little bit of a language barrier because of the dialect. But
mhm.
so he, I got a funny story about that. I don't know if I could say it on here, but
It's our man story time. Go ahead, go ahead.
hey, all right. So we're walking around Barcelona, um, and again, big group of black people.
Yep.
It's like, hey, like, where can we find some chicken? So he's asking, where can we find? He's like, like, where can we find chicken? But he's saying it with whatever the slang word is for chicken in Mexico.
Okay.
In Spain, it meant cock. So legit, for about 30 minutes, he's walking around asking people for dick.
What?
Uh,
Hey, see, be careful. Be careful. When you go to different places and countries, you might want to know your language and know what words you're saying, because in one country, it can mean something completely different, and then another in another country. I think another example is papaya. Papaya is a fruit. But if you go to damn, what is it? I think, man, I forgot the country. I believe it is Cuba, but I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. But anyways, if you say papaya somewhere, it means a woman's part. So you don't want to you be careful. That's all I can say. Just know your language, know what you're talking about, know what you're asking for, because somebody may look at you sideways. That's a little side note for you. And then now it looks like, before, matter of fact, anything else you want to cover in Spain that we haven't covered so far before we hit Switzerland, because Switzerland is next.
yes. So I talked about Barcelona. If you hit Spain and you have the chance, definitely go to Ibiza. Um,
Mm,
I know most people will pronounce it Ibiza. It's
mm,
Ibiza. But
mhm.
so, like, the king of Spain had a list. This is the story that they told me. The king of Spain had a lisp, and he pronounced it Ibiza, and it's just
God.
been pronounced Ibiza ever since. Yeah.
Dope. I didn't know. Something you learned. Hey, lesson for me. That's dope. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's real cool.
So that, when I was there at the time, was considered the party capital of the world.
Hmm.
So man, if you're looking to go party, definitely check out Ibiza. They're like legit. They were putting a curfew to stop the clubs and making them close at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like that's the
In the
curfew.
morning. I was looking at 6 o'clock. We don't even go to the club until like later on at night. So what you
11,
mean 6?
12.
Yeah, what you mean 6? You said no, AM. You and now
Yeah.
so it's funny for those folks who are from America, we close very early when it comes to our party and our clubs and all that. We close, I think, at 2 o'clock, 2 p. Well, depending on what
Yeah.
state, I
Last
guess.
call 1:30.
Last call 1:30. But when you go to other countries, they don't even get to the party until like 2 in the morning. And then
Nope.
they leaving when the sun is out. So I'm like, yo, so that it's a different way of partying in different countries and cultures. So definitely keep that in mind. And then cool. Let's go ahead and anything else on
Nah,
Spain for
man, that's all I got, man.
it's all good, man. It looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially touched down in Switzerland. So we finally off the plane. We stretching our legs, man. We ready to hit the ground running. What do you suggest, recommend? What can we now that we're in Switzerland? What's up? What can we do?
Switzerland. Right off the bat, go to Zermatt. Zermatt, Switzerland. It's a little mountain town. Sits at the base of a glacier.
Hmm.
So again, big time snowboarder, one of my passions.
Hmm.
This is where the Matterhorn is modeled from. So Matterhorn at Disney, the
Hmm.
big ride. So the Matterhorn sits there. Epic, epic runs.
Hmm.
I'm talking about miles long runs. And cool thing about the little town is there's no real vehicles there. Everything is like these little electric cars, so electric trucks, electric one man, two man seaters running around. Um, yeah, it's nuts. One almost hit me, and I got all mad, pushed it, and you see it
Pushed
just
it.
go. Yep, you see it go wobbling down the street on that ice, man. Small
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah, push the car. Like, man, if you don't move out here with this little toy truck, little Tonka truck you got,
Yep,
that
yeah,
is
pretty much,
funny.
man. Pretty
How long was
much.
that flight? How long was that flight?
So we flew into Geneva from England. That flight was maybe an hour and a half, but we had a 4 hour train ride from Geneva. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
so we flew into the capital because I think it may have been like $100 round trip, and then it was just cheaper to
Okay.
just take
Oh,
the train in. So
right, right. Now, do Americans, do we need a visa or vaccinations or anything other than a passport to go to Switzerland?
just need a passport. I mean, now I don't know what we need, man. I don't think we can get into Switzerland like right at this moment. But yeah, it's for the most part you just need a passport. Passport, no extra shots,
Cool.
no anything. So, and I think
Cool.
that's one of
That's what
those
I like to
countries you can
hear.
stay in. I think you can stay there for 2 months without needing anything special.
Really? So what
Hmm.
are they known for? Let's start with the food. I'm a foodie, so let's go with the food. What do you recommend we eat?
On the mountain, I had antelope. Um, yeah, that face right there, I get a lot of that face. And it's a lot of people like antelope. I, I, I'm
Yeah.
an adventurous eater, so I was like, shit,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
here, so I'm gonna try it. So really, really good, man.
Hmm.
Actually, one of the best meats I've had. Antelopes,
Mm.
good
Now, how
there.
is it
Rabbit,
prepared?
ah, it wasn't in like a stew. It seemed like they braised it because it was super tender. But it seems like they braised it,
Okay.
and
Oh.
then it was in some kind of sauce. It wasn't like a
Hmm.
heavy
Hmm.
sauce. It was, I don't know, man. It's weird, but it
Hmm.
had like a really, really good
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah. Right. Right. And it's tender. I like. Yeah. Tender is good. Tender is good. And
Yeah,
did you
it's
say
real
rabbit?
good.
Did you have rabbit? Rabbit season.
Yeah, I did.
Tell us about rabbit. I haven't had it.
I did.
Uh,
Rabbit, it's a little gamey. Like it has a different flavor to it,
oh,
but man, however they cooked it, it was super tender as well. But yeah, I
yeah.
think this
See.
place may
Yeah.
have been known for like exotic meats.
Sound like it. Switzerland sound like it. Now, far as the so what can we drink? What our rabbit and our antelope? What kind of beers, alcohols, or just any other type of non-alcoholic beverage that you could think of that they got?
I had a lot of wheat beers. Their wheats were really good, really, really good. Their wheat beers, the wheat blondes are really good. Their Hefeweizens are really good. Just because of where it sits on the mountain, you can actually go over into Italy and cross
Mm.
back over. You can like go over to Italy without needing like a passport or anything because you're right there on that same run. Have food on the Italian side of the mountain and then come back over into Switzerland. But man, it's
Mm.
food. Food was really good. Beers, I can't say enough about the beers. Just
Hmm.
because they had
Hmm.
legit some of the best Hefeweizens I've had in my travels.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds good. Far as like to get around in Switzerland, what is it? Ubers? I know you mentioned electric cars and whatnot. Are there taxis, subways, and how you get around?
Trains, high speed trains are the big
Okay.
things there. So like the big passenger trains, because we hung out in Geneva after we left Zermatt, hung out in Geneva, um, took a train there, and then taxis around the city. So
Hmm.
taxis were the
Hmm.
big thing. I don't think,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was there, I don't think Uber was out yet, but
Okay. Okay.
I could probably guess that they have it there now, just because Geneva's a huge
Okay.
city. Geneva's a huge
Right.
city.
Right. Now, is it westernized, or is it do they have their own culture, or what's that culture like there in Switzerland?
It's a mix. It's definitely westernized. But you have Swiss German and Swiss French.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
depends
Hmm.
on your region. Zermatt was Swiss French, but I think Geneva may have been Swiss German. And it's like it's weird because you hear him speaking Swiss, and then you'll hear German words
Hmm.
thrown in or French words thrown in.
Hmm.
It's like I don't know where I am.
Hmm.
It's one of those. I'm legit kind of lost in this moment. So
Right, right. Now, do you need to know the language to get around, or is English is pretty prevalent out there? Or how is that for us English folks?
English is super prevalent out there. For the most part, there were only a couple countries in Europe where people were like either super afraid to speak English or they just didn't speak English.
Mm.
But yeah, Switzerland, you
Hmm.
definitely you can get by on English. Their English is a lot better than a lot of the English here in the States, truthfully. Like in the southern states,
Oh,
it's like, oh, it's like, oh.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely, yeah. Depending on what part of the states you talk about, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and then cool. What about, is there anything that you did not like or particularly care for in Switzerland?
Yes. Geneva, the way Geneva is set up, Geneva is divided up into two parts. You have one side of the tracks and then you have the other side of the tracks. One side of the tracks, little sketch, which
Hmm.
is where we stayed at unknowingly. Went out for New Year's of 2011, I think,
Hmm.
and ended up getting pickpocketed. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, this is where I kind of started coming up with these travel rules. It's like, all right, don't be drunk out in public by yourself. Noted.
Right.
Noted.
Uh, Noted. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, man, you that's if you're out there. So you was traveling by yourself. This was a time you was by yourself in Switzerland.
No, I was out there with one of my homeboys, but he ended up drinking and not feeling good and going back to the room. I was like, I'm gonna stay out and party. I
Yeah.
should have I should have went back to the room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard the stories of the pickpocketers out there in Europe. I mean, they're everywhere, not just Europe, but
Yeah.
yeah, you got to be careful, got to be safe, especially when you drink it in another country. That's something to pay attention to a little bit.
Yep.
And far as Switzerland, what type of vacation spot is Switzerland? Is it something that is it a honeymoon type spot? Is it for history buffs? Is it for nature folks? What is it? Who is it for?
It can legit be all of the above. Honeymoon spots, like you can get a couple hours away from the main hub where we flew in at. You can get a nice chalet, a nice winter house
Hmm.
that's just out
Hmm.
by itself, man. For it's a little expensive. Switzerland's definitely on the pricier side, but worth it. Like if that's your honeymoon trip, definitely look into it. Um,
Right.
if you want history, you can go down to Zurich. Zurich is awesome.
Hmm.
I think Zurich may actually be the capital.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, Zurich is awesome. As far as like just getting out and walking around and just seeing like that old architecture in the cities, man. It's crazy to see like buildings and stuff that are older than our country. So, man, that's
Mhm.
that's nuts to me.
It is. That's crazy. And then far as let's see here, and there was something I wanted to ask you about when it came to Switzerland. Now, far as the culture itself, what type of music are they known for? Do they listen to American music, or are they more like Swiss music or pop? What type of music are they into?
So very American music,
Okay.
but everything's remixed into house. So it's like house and trance and disco and yeah, it's like wait, I know these words.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, different melody, different flow, different all that. But yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Now, is there anything that knowing what you know now would do differently if you were back in Spain?
yeah. It's I would definitely travel a little smarter. Because like being over there for the most part, I was traveling in big, large groups of loud people. And so, and like me now, I like to blend in a lot more. It's I like to like immerse myself without being seen, man. So it's like I would definitely do things a little quieter.
Yeah, I think the point here is to blend in, be a part of the culture, be a part of the country itself, so you don't stand out. Because when you stand out, you draw attention, and when you draw attention, it could be good or bad attention. So yeah, you got to be
A lot of
careful. But
times you get those unwanted eyes on you, man.
yeah,
So it's like,
unwanted. Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. That's huge, man. You don't want to go out and be flashy and have all your jewelry on and your diamond necklace and earrings and rings. You definitely want to play it a little you- don't be so loud. That's what don't be
yep.
so loud. Tone it down a little bit, take it down a few notches. So why Switzerland? What made you want to go to Switzerland? What attracted you there?
Initially, the snowboarding.
Mm,
I knew we were gonna have a fantastic time doing that, and because it's on a glacier, like we literally could have did this trip any time of the year. So,
okay. Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely wanted to go board, and then it gave me another country to go see. Man, I'm all about experiencing the culture, meeting the people,
Hmm.
and so it gave me an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And then, far as we didn't talk much about the accommodation. Where did you stay? Was it a hotel, a hostel? How was your accommodation?
Both. In Switzerland, it was both. We stayed at a hotel slash hostel.
Hmm.
First night we rented a room down in the hotel part of it,
Hmm.
and then in the attic is where they had the hostel, which was it was a whole bunch of beds just spread out. It was crazy, man. A whole bunch of beds just spread out on the floor up there, but it was surprisingly comfortable and not feet smelly. So
Feet smelly. Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely gotta watch out for stinky feet. Yeah.
man, hostels be
Uh,
rough sometimes,
they
man.
can be. They can be. Yeah, well, you know, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? Hostels
Very
is
very true.
Yeah, yeah, it's more on the economical side. So hey, if that's what but don't let it stop you though. If that's how you travel, then travel like that. You can get to more places and see more things. But
Save that
sometimes
money.
save that money. Yeah, definitely save money that's very important. And then let me see here. Far as like any shopping, I know ladies like they would any malls out there and any shopping, or are they known for fashion or anything like that?
Man, if you want high quality stuff,
Hmm.
definitely Switzerland. Jewelry, they're world renowned for their watches, Swiss watches.
Yes.
It's Mont Blanc watches and things like that. All of that stuff comes from Switzerland.
Yeah, I've heard of a Mont Blanc. I don't know too much about watches, but it's supposed to be how many thousands of dollars is a Mont Blanc watch?
It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's I start counting after like the second set of zeros, man. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, I don't know if I need anything of that magnitude on my wrist, but for those folks who do, get your Mont Blanc, go to Switzerland, get you some nice little jewelry, or what have you. You never know. You get your little what do you call that? Engagement ring or something for your lady. Yeah, that may be nice. And then that's cool. Now, far as let's see here. Let me go ahead and I think was there anything in Switzerland that you expected but wasn't what you expected?
not really, man.
Hmm.
I mean, besides getting pickpocketed, Switzerland was pretty straightforward. Beautiful countryside, awesome people. Um, Mostly more friendly in the German side of things
Hmm.
than the French side.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it's but again, like friendly people all around.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys want to hit Switzerland up, man, it's a lot to do in Switzerland. If you like snowboarding and skiing, that's definitely a place to go. Be careful not to be intoxicated by yourself out there, may get pickpocketed. Be careful on that. Hey, man, eat some antelope. Is it antelope? You said eat some antelope, rabbit.
Antelope.
Yeah, yeah, eat something different, man. I know, folks want to, stick to what they know and go to McDonald's, but nah, eat the local food. And be honest with you, that McDonald's ain't the same as the McDonald's here in the United States,
It's
anyways.
so different, man. It's so
Yeah, it's definitely they have a different flavor, and it's just not the same. So definitely do something new, try something out. And as far as the demographics, is it more so in the younger crowd, the older crowd, or who traveled that you see that was out there?
um everybody on the mountains as far as like getting out in the pubs and stuff like that, definitely the younger crowd. 25 to maybe 40, 25 to 35.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Got you. Yeah, I know some folks. They go to different places, and some places are for like the younger crowd. Some folks, some places are for the more mature crowd. So just depending
Mhm.
on where you fall in that area. So before we got a flight to catch back home, we got to start packing up. We about to hit some gift shops right now, get us some souvenirs. Any last things you want to talk about before we get on the plane, catch this flight back?
No, man, just loving life, man. Just trying
Mm-hmm.
to plot out my next couple countries and all of that fun stuff. So,
Good, cool, man. I like that, man. So Switzerland, y'all definitely got to put Switzerland on your list if it isn't, and if it is on your list, move it on up. As you know, we got to hit this plane, got to go back home, man. We got a flight to catch. Hopefully, y'all got some good information, some good travel insights about Switzerland and other countries and other states as well. And we got to hit this flight back. So with that being said, we have one last on this way home. We have one last segment. It is the lightning round. And in the lightning round, I'm going to ask you a list of questions and you can answer them as fast as possible. Okay. There's quick, sense of urgency. And it's only one word answers. So no sentences and no backstories and all that. Just give us one word and we're going to keep it going hot. All right. It makes sense. You got it?
let's do it.
Let's do. All right, cool. Let me go ahead. I think I'm ready. I'm ready. And you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So, question number one: what is your favorite airline?
Allegiant.
What's your favorite hotel?
Royalton.
What's your favorite cruise line?
Never been.
What's your favorite state?
Texas.
What's your favorite country?
America.
What's your favorite hotel booking site?
Hotels.com.
What's your favorite flight booking site?
Skyscanner.
Good one. What is one thing that Ryan Morbley must bring on all his trips?
Laptop.
Where do you want to go next?
Panama.
What other state other than Texas would you want to live in?
Nevada.
What other country would you live in?
Poland.
Last question. What is your favorite travel podcast?
The Global Travel Podcast.
Good answer. Good answer. Well said, man. The Global Travel Podcast in full effect. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now arriving to our home airport. So, I need your guys' attention. Much appreciated. Once again, Ryan, much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you back to your seats. I need you to buckle up. I need trays up, seats in the upright position. And before we land, just as we're about to land, Ryan, if you can give us, our listeners, one last piece of travel advice, what would that be?
Man, stay safe and stay vigilant. Like, keep your eyes open. Because people are always watching you.
Always. Yeah. You heard it right there. Keep your eyes open, stay vigilant, be aware, pay attention to your surroundings. Great advice. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are now landed. Thank you for flying here with us at the Global Travel Podcast. You can now unbuckle your seatbelts, grab your belongings, and exit the cabin. So with that being said, you guys, see you on our next trip. If you would like to be a guest on our show and tell us about your travel experiences, then leave us a comment in the comment section below so we can reach out to you. Also, if you have any countries, states, or cities that you'd like us to review, please let us know so we can plan a trip there. Lastly, if you got some good value today and liked our podcast, please hit the like button and click subscribe so you can travel with us again next time. So subscribe right now because you don't want to miss the next trip. With that being said, over and out.